Do you remember that one?
I do.
Raj, another very special. Did you ever think we'd get to the point where we're doing two very special
I didn't.
events?
I didn't. I mean, with the events that have unfolded this week, I did not know any of this was going to happen. Especially starting off Monday, I didn't think anything like this was going to happen. But what a wild 48 hours it has been, and is not
48 hours. I think I posted earlier. It's been years since they've been retired. So,
well,
what do you mean 48 hours?
I don't know. It's still a tough pill to swallow, but we got a coach, Herb. We got a coach.
Yeah, you see at the bottom, it was almost you. So let's cover this. How close were you to being the coach?
I don't want to reveal all of the details, but I was, for the people maybe can't see whatever, I was really, really close. Very, very close.
Okay. All right. So you got we'll go these in reverse order. Roll Tide, even in Mike. How are you doing? The Alpha. Hey.
Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Lady Alpha. And shout out to Kat.
And we'll end with this one. How you feeling? I don't know. So first off, just having a coach, fine. And it's sad that in this era, the man gets off the plane and we're already telling him who he needs to call and who he needs to keep on the team. Right. It's crazy. Shout out to the fans, man, who went out to the airport to greet him, make this man feel loved. He's already got. I mean, I already give him kudos.
Yeah, for taking the job. Yes,
because I didn't want to take the job after Saban. That's bro, you getting fired in 3 years. That's what I've been joking about.
I think that's what everybody was pondering. Like even all the people who were actually up for the job, they're like, had it just been another coach, they probably would have jumped towards the opportunity. But it's like, man, you're following after the GOAT. Like you have, these are shoes that can't really, you can't fill these shoes. You just have to do the best job you can.
Yeah.
So
DeBoer, the GOAT, DeBoer. Yes, I'm with that. I've been practicing saying his name. I still feel like it's wrong. So if we
have to give him a nickname, Herb. I think if he wins enough games next year, we could just call him. What about DeBoer?
No, it sounds too much like Dabo.
Yeah, that's true.
And there is a Debo. If you ever say Debo, I'm gonna be like Samuel every single time.
Let's think about this for Tuesday's episode. Why don't you come up with your list of nicknames? I'll come up with a list of nicknames too.
Okay, and that's for the fans out here too. So we'll put out maybe a poll too. What's the coach's nickname? Yes. Might just call him Good Luck. So Monday in the national championship, now Alabama's head coach. Yeah, I mean. He walked off the field Monday. He's probably upset.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking about losing Penix and stuff and how do they retool and rebuild for the next year. Then like the rest of us, on Wednesday, he sees the retirement. He's like, oh, man, that came out of – hey, why is my phone ringing?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, once Nick Saban retired, I wonder when his phone started blowing. Like, when did he kind of catch wind that maybe he was going to be a prospect for the position? Well, how do you think that turned out? What was it?
So – on our show on Wednesday, and that's just by Wednesday night, so we're talking 4 or 5 hours after the retirement has been announced.
Yeah.
He was already suggesting, I think Randy was one of maybe the first people to post it on there.
He was.
And we got the text from Randy. They called it and had a couple other people who had mentioned him. So he was on the short list of people. So I know there are people out there saying, oh, your first and second choice went away. No, I think Lanning was in the mix and then him. I don't think that and it's funny, all these people sending out hype videos like, hey, I'm staying. That's great. When Norvell sent one out, I was like, I didn't even realize you were a candidate. So
I didn't. I mean, Norvell's a good coach, but I didn't think he was really high on the list anyway. So I didn't expect him to come.
And then in the middle of that, the NCAA gave them some sanctions, which if you're getting sanctioned in the NIL era, that's just NCAA was just bored and have nothing to do.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah, come on, guys. And then Dabo put one out. I'm like, Dabo, you were the only candidate that everyone said no.
Yeah.
So, and this is kind of what we're hearing too as well, is that was always a thing and that he was always in the mix too as well. So, So I'm good with it.
Herb and I really did know. We were just going off a lot of rumors, what we were seeing on social media, things of that nature. And I felt like there was always two lists. There was a realistic list, and then there was the second list was just a bunch of names like Lane Kiffin, Kirby, all these other people that just were out there. And it's like, you hear people say, if we throw enough money at Kirby, I was like, even if Kirby's not worried about money.
No.
He's going into next season Probably going to be ranked number 1. Definitely going to make it to the playoffs. He's got everything he needs right there. There's no need for him to leave. I think right now, if you're Kirby, you're working on trying to poach some of these Bama players and say, hey, why don't you come over here to Athens?
Which is what people are working.
Right.
And that's it. Kirby's building his own legacy.
He's building his own legacy.
I said, I wish him well. I wish him well.
Yep.
What's the first 2 that people are talking about? Exactly. Yes. Let's he's got to try and keep, I guess, Bond and Downs. So those are the 2 names that you're hearing are pretty much gone. Bond seems like he's going to one of the Texas schools, and Downs going to Ohio State. That's what it seems like. So
is that official, or is it just what we're
like if you've got money and you're betting on it, that's where you would put your money right now on what it is. But I mean, having an offensive head coach in there, you see what. Did you just get
no? I was saying I think Ohio State is really loading up for next year, though.
Yeah, well, they have to. Man, Michigan it's bad right now. Ohio State.
Yep.
Ryan Williams is already liking the tweet, so people are already putting that out about if he's going to recommit after getting an offensive head coach.
Yep.
The articles are already coming out. This will be good for Milroe. A guy who could fully unlock him. So, you wonder what it means for Tommy Rees, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Is his position secure? Well, how does that work? And he was just there for 1 year and came really, really close to making it to the national championship. So after 1 year, so I think Tommy Rees and both Kevin still had a pretty successful year. If you ask me,
this is going to be interesting. I don't know. He got to fire. He's got to figure out what he's doing staff wise. He's got to keep. I mean, can you imagine hitting the ground like he's like it's Friday? Do I get the weekend off? Oh no,
I
don't
will
get the weekend off.
Regarding coordinators, since we're talking about that, I will say if he carries his offense that he had from Washington here as far as passing the ball, I'm fine with that. I am perfectly fine with that. I've been an advocate for that. I even spoke about that pretty much throughout last season on the podcast that we just need to throw the ball more in order to get some more points on the board. So I'm cool with that. Yep. The question is Milroe
wait, are you cool like that or are you cool with that?
I'm both. I'm cool like that. I'm cool with it. So the question is Milroe going to be his guy to do that? From what we saw last year, I don't know if Milroe can throw for 300 yards a game. And obviously we have Ty Simpson. There's Julian coming in. We've got Lonergan. It just depends. We'll see what he wants to do. We'll see what type of offense he wants to implement, and we'll go from there. And as you even mentioned, we're going to have another QB battle in the spring until we play Western Kentucky for game 1. We'll have a QB battle. So
yeah, kind of like this year. So.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Everybody will get a fair check. Yep.
And
see, I agree with that. I don't think Kirby. So people kept asking me about Sark. He's like, "Do you think we have enough money?" I was like, "We don't have Texas money. Why would he leave at this point?" So,
Sark has no reason to leave.
And Kirby, Dabo, Norville. That's what I agree. I don't think they were ever candidates, specifically Dabo, but I don't think Norville was a target. So.
Yeah, if you're Sark, you just beat Bama in Tuscaloosa, and then you came about a touchdown away from going to Natty yourself. So you're like right there, and you got Ewers coming back. So you're good. You've got something built there.
Yep. So Lanning, DeBoer, and then maybe Kiffin. I want to hear, and I think maybe we'll put this out on Tuesday. I want to hear from the Kiffin folks. Specifically what you liked and how close do you think it ever was that Kiffin would be offered and that kind of thing. So I like to hear from the Kiffin folks a little bit more. So this is the name I didn't even know, but the first person in Texas to me was Ahoda. Shout out to Ahoda. Just mentioning how much he will help with recruiting. So, which is what looking forward to.
I mean, that's definitely what you need, especially coming to the SEC, because right now Kirby might kind of still own that position right now in the SEC. So we definitely need some help. And of course, with Texas and OU coming over, Texas is a hotbed for recruiting. So we'll need as much help as we can get. But I think you can agree with me. The main focus is, based on what Chris Lowe said, there was a 9 p.m. meeting tonight. I'm assuming that's with the players. We are all kind of just waiting kind of to see what's going to happen after that meeting. I don't think you'll hear too many announcements tonight like, oh, I'm leaving, but maybe tomorrow and then Sunday is when
we don't get the weekend off. Is that what you're saying?
We do not get the weekend off, man. These next 48 hours are going to be just as nerve-wracking as the previous 48 hours.
I can't.
We can only hope to we're going to lose some players. We know that, but we just I would love to just try to keep the core. I know you just mentioned Caleb Downs. I've spoken about him a million times. I would love to keep him. I just don't know what he's going to do. If he leaves, so be it.
Yeah. And that's my thing. I'm trying not to. So when I first heard like the Bond and Downs movie, I was like wanting to curse both of them. But I got to realize, look, man, football is a finite sport, man. They all are, but you only get so many chances in this sport. And if you get a chance to get a big payday or better yourself, because you never know what can happen. It's got the shortest lifespan, has to be of the big four. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen, man. So I'm going to do my best to wish anybody well that leaves. Everybody that stays, man, I'm happy to have you here. For DeBoer, it's like the best and worst time to come to Alabama. The worst time because you're following Saban. You are the king in my eyes just for stepping up. Yeah. The best time because the playoffs are expanding. So you get your feet wet. If you lose an early season game, it's not going to kill you right off.
You can lose 2 games and still squeeze in that 11 or 12 spot depending on what happens, of course, with some of these other teams. I know there's going to be some undefeated teams, probably at 23-24, but that's going to be like a Liberty or something like that. And I don't think they're going to be in the playoff. But
no.
Yeah, you made a really, really good point. You can kind of lose a few games this first season, and we'll live with it. Keep in mind, Nick Saban was 7-6 in his first season.
Well, but if you go 7-6 next year, you're getting fired. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's not even going to be a meeting. Don't go to your office. Just get out.
Somebody at halftime of the last game will just come and take your keys out of your pocket and the headset off your head. So in the middle of the second quarter, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Did you see Funny Man's video about this? The new coach.
I saw it. Yeah.
So for those who didn't see, you got to go check it out. It's a TikTok, a short. But he's like the Knicks head coach when they lose the coin toss, and he oh, you know what? Get that guy out of here. Get him out of here. He gone. He gone. So that was pretty. Pretty accurate,
and I hope that Bama.
Good evening in the Caps. Your other stuff, Caps, that you're saying, we'll have to cover another day. Not really talking NFL or Commander stuff yet.
Yeah.
Yep. Mike, good, very, very good point. So, I wonder if they just kick Reese to the door, like, "Hey, buddy, nice to know you." So,
Reese is like 31. He's young, so he'll find another job.
Mike, I saw this out there too as well. So
I didn't know anything about
his daughter coming with him. Yeah. So I saw it today being posted and stuff. So let's not pretend like I knew what was going on already.
Yeah.
Nah, Mr. U, you're crushing it, man. You having a great week. One day, see, here's Mr. U, here's us. We're just trying to close the gap.
We're getting there. We're getting. He's still living high on that natty, so he's having a phenomenal week.
Yeah. Nobody see, and it's funny. If I was him, could nobody touch me this week? I'd be sitting back. I'd be like dancing every day. I'm like, what'd you guys do this week? We won a natty.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. U. Yeah.
Go on, Caleb. Yeah, I'm down with it. I'm down with it. So, man, like I said, big shoes. And so no shots at the other guys. Like I saw them bring out their videos. I saw Norville get his pay raise. Good job to everybody else for staying where you are. I see the individual merits in staying in each place for everybody. Yeah. I definitely wish Landing well. Oregon never had anything bad against Oregon. Sark, like I said, I don't even know if that was ever going to be official, but Sark, man, you got a chance to make your – and he's always given respect to Saban. Man, I've got nothing bad with Sark. Probably one of the best offensive minds we've ever seen, so wish him well. I'm not a Texas guy, so I'm never like Texas, but I can wish Sark well. So, what do you think about the Dabo hate with all this?
I didn't realize it was on that level. Like they showed the video of everybody going out to Nick Saban's statue, and then the one guy said, like, what did he say? Like anybody but Dabo. I didn't realize it was on that level.
Yeah.
Like I understand like he doesn't want to kind of adjust to today's game as far as recruiting. I get all that, but I didn't know that people disliked him that much. Yeah. And I felt like with him being a former Bama guy, being from Pelham, playing at Bama, etc., he has a lot of the intangibles that you want for a new coach, but some people in T-Town and BM just don't like Dabo.
Like they was gonna. We talking about a full-on riot.
Yeah,
if Dabo got hired. So
keep in mind, Dabo's first game next year, they're playing Georgia. I will be tuning into that game because obviously we're playing Western Kentucky. So I will be tuning into that. I will be watching that game to see what happens.
That in there.
I mean, Georgia's going to win the game, but I hope it's competitive. So.
Yeah. I saw him post this earlier. I don't know what the post game speech was. So
I didn't. I have to rewatch. I'll have to rewatch his post game speech. I'm assuming he's talking about after the Natty.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be what exactly he said. I'm assuming he said something like how much he's loved Washington, loves the program, etc. But a lot of coaches say these type of things, and anything can happen.
And you have to think though, that's a huge stepping stone. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been coaching like seriously for 5 years.
Yeah.
And has a chance to jump from there's a lot like I said, the Georgias and the Texases, you're not moving. Yeah. Ohio State, Michigan, you're not moving. But chance to jump from Washington to Alabama is a huge
Alabama. That's
so I can see him. So Jimmy Sexton, the real movie. Yep. And Cass, we see your other question on there. No, we've never gotten a reply. But you can always message us off the air for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Jimmy Sexton is like a super duper agent. He is an agent of players, coaches.
Is he your agent also? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Jimmy Sexton's he's got a lot of guys this past few days who've made a lot of money, got a lot of raises. So obviously that's putting money in his pocket. So Jimmy Sexton, like Mike said, he is the real MVP.
Yep. Rick Fresno's really good. Yep. I mean, it's a huge jump. It is a huge jump. The expectation level.
Yeah.
Can go up there. The fans, let's be honest, we can grind you down at times. Like
that's true. That's true.
And you're coming into a time where they're not the king of the SEC. And the real problem right now is there's not enough people that remember pre-Saban.
Right.
And all you fans that jumped in here when Saban was here need to realize that it wasn't great right before him.
It was rough.
And you can't have the greatest coach of all time and then expect the next guy to replicate that success.
Exactly.
Especially in the changing era. So, I feel like you got to have patience and you got to have support. Yep. And he's not coming into a terrible team. I mean, we just made the playoffs. So it's not like the cupboard is bare.
The cupboard is bare.
That is a real phrase. How is that stopping you?
Okay, the cupboard is bare.
I need somebody to back me up on this stuff. That's a regular phrase.
Nobody says that. You need to stop reading so many books. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm thirsty. Is my cupboard bare? Listen.
I mean, why are you going into your cupboard for drinks anyway?
To get some porridge?
What are you, one of the three little big? What the heck?
Oh, Big Mike said that's a pretty common saying. The cupboard is bare.
Look
at you.
Thank you.
Man.
So out of the 17 things I've said on the show, I've been backed up once, but I will take that win and I will run with it. So
I think that. So speaking to Kat's point here, what do you think?
Kat, there's zero chance that we're having zero.
Okay, zero. Okay. I think realistic expectation, and this is, keep in mind, I'm going to make this statement prior to anybody transferring or entering the portal. I would say 3 losses next year.
Right.
That's realistic. And then I say I could pick out a handful of games. I mean, keep in mind we're playing at LSU and at Tennessee next year, so those could be tough games.
Right.
And again, it just depends on who stays and who leaves.
Right. So your toughest, obviously, you got Georgia. Right.
Yeah.
You go to Oklahoma, no idea how that one's going to shake out, and they're at Tennessee and at LSU. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I know some people will say at Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's strengths always play into our strengths, so it's not. I don't worry as much about them as others.
I figure that's going to be a tough game because it's a road game, but I see us winning that game. So I mean, I can see us losing 3 games
right now. Yeah.
I can see us losing 2-3 games and still make a playoff. If we end up at like 11-12, I'm okay with that.
Football coaches, I'm not fanatical. Let me tell you about us and what's made us fanatics. Moving to Tuscaloosa. We used to be super into basketball. That used to be our thing. That used to get us going. And all of a sudden, a couple years in Tuscaloosa, next thing you know, I'm stressed out the last couple of days. People are like, what? When y'all getting a coach? I'm like, bro, they don't call me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I had coworkers asking me here in Texas, like, oh, here's Saban's leaving. Are you okay? I'm like,
hot chocolate. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. People asking me if I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, it sucks, but I mean, we'll figure it out. And then people ask me, who's the new next coach going to be? I'm working with you. I don't know. Okay. I don't live in Tuscaloosa anymore. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just going off everything that I hear on social media, which is the same thing you're doing. So we shall see.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I hate to agree with this one, but I do. You could just tell Well, I guess I see what she's saying with the playoff. I was thinking with the changing NIL too and stuff as well. I think
I'm thinking with the expansion though. That's what she's referring to.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a good point. So he's got a great shot here. Like I said, the talent is there. As long as he doesn't squander it, he'll be fine.
Do you think, now that I'm thinking about it, do you think this is one of the reasons why Saban left this specific year, because he knew we were going to expansion and the team would have more room to fail and still succeed? You see what I'm saying?
No, I honestly think still more NIL and more.
Yeah,
I think he just got tired of it. NIL and transfers and there's some rumors about certain players. This is Bond. There's a rumor going out about this is the second time they've had to talk him out of the transfer. And I think Saban came in an era where you had to do a lot of recruiting, but once you got them there, they largely stayed with you. And now you have to recruit your own players as well as other players.
That all equates to a loss of control too. I mean, when you have players transferring all the time, you don't know who's going to be loyal to your program and actually stay there.
So nobody's going to be loyal to programs anymore.
No,
that's for sure. Everybody's chasing the money, and it's like we can say it as fans that we hate it, but if you were in that position and somebody's offering you $1 million to come play another, and like I said, you have no idea if you're ultimately going to make it to the NFL. Right. Football is one of those sports, man. You break a leg next year and that your whole career might be done.
Yep.
So I could see it. That's why I thought this was his best coaching job. And I think he got, we hate the way it ended. I really wish he would have won this year.
With the way that this season turned out, I even said this to her. I did not think we were going to make a playoff. I thought we were probably going to lose another game, to be honest with you, but we lost. We were at 12-2. I mean, I'm okay with that. I can live with that.
Sorry, I was trying to see what
you're good.
Average career 5 years MLB, 6 years NBA. No, 5 years for Major League Baseball and basketball, 6 years hockey. And it says 7 years for NFL. I didn't think that was
the NFL used to be like 3 or 4 years, so maybe that's jumped up a little bit. I would.
So the very next thing I click on says 3.5 seasons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 3.5 seasons, but you're lucky to get that in. So
definitely. Yep. So
yeah.
Be interesting to see what he does. I hate it for man flies in at like 9 o'clock on a Friday night or 8 o'clock, whatever he got in on a Friday night, and has to spend his whole weekend working. Before anything else happens.
I mean, if you're Kalen DeBoer, you're probably you jump off the plane, say hi to the fans. You might have to go do. I don't know if you're going to go to the press conference, but I would think you would go straight to this 9 p.m. meeting and say, "Hey, I'm the new coach." Nick Saban's probably sitting there and just blah blah blah, go back and forth. And Nick says, "Listen, I know some of you guys are having thoughts about going elsewhere, but I'm going to be here to help out to kind of smooth this transition over. So stay here, sit tight, and he can." That way you can even talk to some of the players individually.
I agree.
And Randy,
I think this man's only going to get like 3 hours of sleep this weekend.
Oh, yeah. And then Randy made a good point too, which was something I thought about, was how long will DeBoer be able to...
Are you going to say it like that every time?
DeBoer. How long will Kalen be able to accept the fact that Saban is still going to be there in the shadow? You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand he's the head coach, but is there going to be a point where he's just like, dude, how long is he going to be kind of, because Saban's probably going to be at some of the practices.
Yep.
If he's at the practices, he's going to get some attention. He's got an office in the stadium, so he's still going to be there. It's kind of like Saban is like Emperor Palpatine, and Kalen DeBoer is now the Darth Vader.
So on our last episode, before he retired, Nick Saban was Darth Vader.
Yes.
Now he's Emperor Palpatine.
Yes.
What is it, Smoke or Snoke or whatever? Whoever that villain they had in there for 2 seconds in the last.
Snoke was the guy with the gigantic big head and the weird.
So I don't remember because I didn't rewatch any of those movies. They went off the rails so fast.
I only rewatched the original 3 Star Wars that we watched when we were younger. The other ones. Now I did rewatch episode 3, the one where we saw him turn into Anakin Skywalker, Revenge of the Sith, I believe. Was that Revenge of the Sith?
Yes, let the hate flow through you. Yes,
let the hate flow through. Ooh,
as Alabama fans, we have a lot of hate. We hate each other at times. So, hey, before we go too far to stars, I do want to talk about this. Sorry, I totally
go ahead.
No, I agree. So, my hot take is if we beat Georgia for the national championship with Bryce Young, he retires then. You could tell. And I said it from the beginning. He hated NIL. I think he was for player empowerment. I agree with that totally. But the direction it has taken in combination with the transfer portal and the early transfer windows or whatever you have and NIL, I think that all mixed together is just, I mean, what they call it's really the wild, wild west. 1,500 people into the transfer portal by day 2. I mean, that doesn't even make sense to me. So
that's weird.
Depends on how I say, but handle us over, defer to Kalen on issues and not overstep. Maybe, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to the first time Miss Terry comes out there and tells them what to do. Like,
and Caitlin's gonna be like, "Yes, ma'am," and he's gonna be like, "You know what? We're going back to Washington. I can't take this." Speaking of Washington, I'm kind of interested to see which Washington players follow him.
5 people have transferred as of tonight. I think
just entered the portal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll double check that when we jump off. I was joking with Herb earlier. I wish Romeo and Dunze would stay another year and follow him to Bama, but he's a first-round draft pick, so he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So
that's a good insight into this. I hope not. I really hope not. You know.
Yeah.
And honestly, like you said, one of your points earlier would help him navigate those waters. So I hope that's how this all turns out. So and he's a bigger man than me. I would probably be like pretending to like it, but I'm like plotting his demise. So
I'd be talking about him to my wife, like, "Oh, I can't stand him."
So there's a reason why the long list of reasons why they didn't hire me as coach. That's another one.
Yeah,
so I could have done that very well. So, well, Raj, we're getting to that point about the same amount of time we spent on the last one. Thanks everybody again. Any last minute comments we'll post up there, but thanks everybody again.
Appreciate y'all tuning in.
It's hilarious. You know what tonight was going to be? We were going to do some NFL picks,
right?
And then we hired a coach. So, you can tell we're our first passion and we're our first love. So we'll get you a video out maybe tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Man,
you gotta be patient. Gotta be patient over these next, not even just 48 hours, maybe in the week, 2 weeks, just to see what happens.
Yeah, right. This is Alabama. When if Downs and Bond do leave, like everybody says, they're gonna blame him somehow. He's gonna. I'm hoping that Bond got here.
I'm hoping Bond rethinks it and comes back because he will be our leading receiver next year.
Yeah, and but Ryan Williams also does rethink it and come back. I mean, but I also think there's some lesser known names in there that we just didn't get to see enough of because we didn't throw the ball enough and we didn't have a great.
I agree. I agree 1,000%.
So I think if you're looking at this, I think
Black who was underutilized. I hope he said. I think he can be one of the better tight ends in the country next year if you give him the ball enough.
So. I mean, I think there's a hidden element to this with Sayin coming in and Simpson, man. Like, as much as we love Milroe, it's it's an open competition, man. And
it is going to be open competition, and DeBoer, Kalen's going to want to throw the ball. So
love you too, man. Always appreciate you, man. Always, Coach catch Mr. U on all over the place. But Monday mornings and Wednesday mornings, 2 different shows. 8 a.m. I would say p.m. 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, as well as several other shows, and definitely go to his YouTube. It's more than sports with this guy, so it's great stuff all the time. We always appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in.
Kat.
We know we're keeping everybody up late. And Kat didn't give out any more of her phone number, so I think they blew her up last time.
Oh gosh,
so she's not that. So, and Mike's going to stay on. So there's a controversy here.
What's that?
Has Mike surpassed Bob?
I didn't want to get into that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, let me.
Sorry. Sensitive subject.
Mike and I will have to discuss that individually, and then we'll let you know how it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Mike if you do hear some answers, Mike, definitely let us know, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you.
We
do love when we throw these little live events together when you guys give us support like this.
Yep.
So, and to the new coach, man, welcome. Raj and I will be patient. We can't guarantee anybody else will. So we got your back, coach.
Yep.
And everybody else, have a good night. And as always,
roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Oh, that's a good one to end on. Love you too. Roll Tide.